We have been towing our cargo camper with our Jeep for years, but we didn't have a brake controller. So today it's time for us to put a brake controller in our Jeep because we have a new camper with trailer brakes and we put trailer brakes in the cargo camper. I ordered the Brakeman 4 from DeConcha. The model number is 8507120. And then I got the plug and play piece for the Jeep, which is so cool because if you ever had to put these in the old way, you had to find the right wire, you had to splice it in, and you were never quite sure if it was the exact wire you needed. It just really wasn't fun. This is so much easier. For the Jeep, we've got a 2021 Jeep Rubicon JLU. So the number for the brake controller for this one was 307300. So the cool thing is we will plug this in up underneath the Jeep, and you can see where we found it when you're sitting in the Jeep. In the driver's seat, it was on the left-hand side, tucked up underneath. It was not that easy to find, so you know, you saw how I had to go down there with the camera to find it. So that's what this is going to plug into. Then this is going to plug into the brake controller. Then we're going to mount the brake controller where we can actually touch it while we're driving. So super simple, but I wanted to take you through this because there is no other videos online that show where they find the plug and play piece and actually plugging it in. So it's kind of cramped up there. My lovely assistant's going to help me with the filming, and we're going to hopefully do it so that you can see how easy this process is. To install the brake controller, you first need to remove the panel underneath the steering wheel. Once you've pulled this out of the way, you can look up underneath, and really the left-hand side is where you're going to find this when you're looking up towards the front of the vehicle. It's not easy. Things are tight up there, but look around, you will find it. There's really no slack on it up. There's really no slack on it up in there. So I'm going to look and see which way this plugs in, and I'm going to try to plug it in. It's kind of hard to get your fingers in there too, and keep some light on that. Let's go this way. Okay, so it's up in there pretty good, and I can't really get a hold of it to pull it out with my fingers because it's so tight. So I'm going to see if I can kind of grab it with some pliers and gently pull it out further so I can hold it while I plug it in. Kind of unpleasant getting up in there just because it's so tight. So that was really hard actually getting that plugged in. So there is no slack on that. It's basically right there. So what I tried to do is get in there with the pliers and kind of just hold it to where I could at least get it lined up. And then once I kind of got lined up and on there, I was able to push until it clicked. But there's no room for your hands, there's no room for your arms. It's very, very tight. It's a great idea that they put that plug right there, but Lord have mercy, they could give you a little bit more slack and it would be a lot easier. The next piece is basically this just plugs into this, and this should power up. Yep, it does power up, okay? Now obviously I don't have the trailer connected right now, so the next piece is I've got to get these wires up in here, get them zip tied around this metal frame. But what we're going to do is we're going to mount this on the outside, our cover that goes there. So what I'm going to do first is kind of figure out how much slack I need zip tied up and kind of get that up out of the way a little bit, and so it doesn't impede my my piece going back in. So the piece that we took out, if you remember, this is the piece that we took out. So this is going to go back in basically, let me get it lined up here, like this. So then the bracket I'm going to want to put right here. So I've got the bracket with me. So if I put it right here, got to be able to see it and be able to access it. So let me see if I put it right there. Where's my... So we're in here, and there. Okay, I'm gonna mark that. Oh, goodness. My grandson's helping me out here. And then I want to make sure that there's nothing in behind there that it's going to impede, which it won't. So, all right, so now I'm going to go get some zip ties. So I'm going to go ahead and pre-drill these with a very small drill bit. Okay. little tiny screws. They're nice and short, so they don't. Drill bit here. I don't want to kind of poking them. So these short screws, they work both for going in here and for the unit. So now I'm going to mount the unit now here to have that in the right place. Push my clips back in. Okay, so that's pretty nice right there. All right, so last thing I'm gonna do is put on a little piece of this stuff that goes around the wires just to make it a little bit better, because I mounted it up higher because that's where I want it. I've got these red, white, and blue kind of wires showing, so they don't really blend in that well. So I'm going to put this wire cover on it to make it look a little bit better, and then wrap a zip tie around that. All right, so that was actually a little more challenging than just getting that plug in there. Everything else was pretty easy, but if you look, didn't look too bad. Got it mounted. All right, so yesterday evening we installed the brake controller, and now we're going to take it for a test drive. I also just put the weight distribution brackets on as well, so if you want to learn how to do that, there'll be another video on that. So we're going to take it out, we're going to test it and get the brake set to the right intensity so that we just don't like squeal the tires every time we stop. Alright, so I had it set on 4, and then I'm just kind of going to feel that. So now I'm up to 5. We're going to try 5 as we go along. Get the brakes here. Okay, so with that, I think I'm going to go up a little. I'm at 7. I can feel it grab pretty significantly. I don't like to get these so that they lock up. I like to get them so that you kind of feel the brake kicking in, but it's slowing you down. Or if you're going down a hill, you can use this by your hand and kind of slow yourself down in between using your own brakes, because you want to. Electric brakes are a lot cheaper to replace than the brakes on your car. And I've got it set on 7 right now. I may end up reducing that when I get out on pavement. I can feel it kicking in pretty good there, but this one looks, that's interesting. This is actually a good controller. Put the camera on this for just a second. Okay, as I hit the brake, look at it. It's rising up little by little, which makes it a lot better, because usually you start hitting that brake and it really wants to jerk you, but this one actually is kind of a slow fade into the brake, so I like that. I had an integrated brake on a Ford F-250 diesel that I had that was kind of similar to that worked really well. Alright, so far it seems to be working pretty good. I think this might be my favorite trailer brake so far. I'm out on the pavement, having it on 7 does a great job. You can feel it just gradually comes in and stops you very well. So super excited about that. So remember, doing things yourself saves you money. It allows you to be free. See you in the next project.